What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It is a travel day for us. We are making our way over from Manila to Cebu. We got a ton of suggestions to check that place out, so we are listening and we're making our way over there right now. The one thing about booking budget hotels is that you don't always get the luxury of an elevator. We're on the 4th floor and we're making our way down, and Attila is gonna carry the suitcase all the way down. Give this video a like if you think he's doing a great job. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Good morning.
Usually we never film travel days because traveling by itself is already really stressful, and vlogging by itself is stressful as well. There's a lot to remember, and when you're traveling you gotta make sure you have your bags, you gotta watch out for everything, you gotta have all your documents and all that. But we honestly feel like we got a pretty good hang of both traveling and vlogging by this point, so we are gonna be vlogging this travel day and showing you guys our process and what we do and how we kind of make our process a little bit better. And also we're just really excited to go to Cebu.
We're at the airport 4 hours before our flight is about to take off, and sometimes we show up even earlier than that because showing up early is way better than showing up late, just in case something goes wrong and you have to change something, you have to change your documents, you didn't have the proper paperwork, or your flight is delayed or whatever. You just want to show up at the airport really early so that if a problem arises you can take care of it and you have time to take care of it without freaking out. For example, we didn't know that they do the bag checks at the gate entrance here of the airport before you enter, like the check-in counters. This is the first time we've experienced that, and we're really happy to be here early because look at how long these lines are.
One thing that Zay and I definitely noticed since being here in Manila and the Philippines is that security is insanely tight everywhere. In Manila, in the city, and everywhere. Basically every single building you enter, or if you want to take the metro or anything like that, they have to scan your bag through an x-ray machine, and they look inside your bag to make sure you're not carrying anything illegal in there. And it's the same thing at the airport. You can't even enter the airport without them scanning your bag, and you guys saw how long the line was. So that's kind of why it's important to show up early and make sure that you have time to check in and do all of that, because things that are unexpected can always arise.
Real quick, we'd like to thank today's video sponsor, BetterHelp. You guys know that Attila and I are on the road 24/7, traveling full-time, and that can really take a toll on your mental health, creating anxiety, stress, and all of that. This is why we are sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp has customized online therapy, which offers video, phone, and even live chat with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapists network that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire that helps assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with your therapist in under 48 hours. Then you can schedule secure video and phone sessions, plus you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with BetterHelp's experienced therapists. There's so many people using BetterHelp that they're actually recruiting more therapists in all 50 states. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Attila or betterhelp.com/Zay. And it's also linked in the description below. Okay, back to the video.
We just checked in our check-in bag, and right now we are going down to departures to go through the last security check until we get to our gate.
We just wanted to mention that if you guys are coming to the Philippines and you want to travel around, it's a bit hard because there's over 7,000 islands, and if you want to go to the further islands, the most convenient and fastest way is gonna be to fly, and the flights are pretty inexpensive within the country, and that's why we are flying to Cebu today. Now that we've made it to security and we're sitting at our gate, we have some travel tips for you guys. Make sure that you have all your documents ready and in hand, whether that be your visas, your passports, your vaccines, or your tests, or whatever it is that you need to have to flight, make sure you have that. Because there's been times where we walk in, we think we have everything we need, we go to the check-in desk and they say, oh, you need this paper, you need to have your flight leaving the country booked, you need to have your visa, and sometimes we run into mistakes where it's like we didn't make the mistake, but the people checking us in are misinformed.
Unfortunately, as soon as we got to the airport, we ran into issues immediately, and it's regarding the drone. Our airline told us that we're not allowed to transit with the drone, as well as that we need a visa to go to Sri Lanka. But we looked all this information up beforehand, and it said that you're allowed to get a visa on arrival.
And they don't have the proper information, and they are not letting us on our flight because we don't have the visa, even though we read online that you can get visa on arrival, and they don't know that, and we have to like go on the other country's government website, pull up that information, show them. Like, there's been a lot of stressful times where these things have happened to us, so that's why we're very careful to come to the airport hours early, like 5-6 hours early, just to make sure we have everything in order and we're not panicking last minute trying to figure these things out. Just be informed is what I'm trying to say. Make sure you know everything, every detail about what's going on, what's in your bags, what's allowed on the flight, what's not allowed on the flight, what your bag is supposed to weigh, what your bag's not supposed to weigh. Right now we are flying from Manila to Cebu, so it's a domestic flight within the Philippines, and we did not have any issues at all. We actually used the self check-in, scanned our passports, and it printed our boarding pass as well as our checked bag tag. Then we put the bag through at the counter with the clerk, and it was great, super easy. But sometimes when you're going on an international flight, it is not as easy because there's a lot more stuff to go through: immigration, passport control, all the documents that you have to have for the other country, and it's just a lot more hassle. So when you're doing an international flight, you have to be a lot more careful than doing domestic flights, because I feel like domestic flights are a little bit more laid back, but still have everything in order. I just have to say that our favorite so far has been taking domestic flights because it's a lot less stressful and it's a lot easier for us, and we love it.
I actually love arriving to the airport early because I love exploring new airports and checking out what kind of stores they got, like their layout and all the amenities, and sometimes we go into some lounges, so I do love that. I think Zay doesn't like to spend time at airports as much as I do, because sometimes we even have long layovers. Like we've had one in the past in Singapore where we had to sleep overnight at the airport, and I love the experience, minus like being a little bit uncomfortable sleeping, but I still enjoyed it. But I think Zay really did not enjoy that. So it depends. If you're a person who likes to explore airports or like new places like that, then it would be okay for you to show up early. Or if you have work to do, for example, it's good. You can come early and get your work done while you wait for your plane, and make sure you have everything in order.
The only thing I don't like about really long layovers, especially if they're overnight, is the fact that there's no beds just laying around in the airports unless you have a lounge pass. And sometimes even lounges are closed, so you can't even go enjoy your lounge. But yeah, sleeping on the floor or sleeping on a bunch of these hard benches is not my go-to usually.
Just like I was mentioning earlier, right now we have work to get done, some editing on the vlog, so we're gonna sit, edit, and wait for our flight to board.
Most of these budget airlines that we fly don't offer complimentary food, snacks, or drinks, not even water. So I'm gonna buy myself a Cinnabon to have on the flight, as well as a water bottle, because you need to stay hydrated while you're up in the air. We have made it to Cebu. It was an awesome flight. Didn't take too long. It was just a little over an hour. We actually got here 15 minutes before our arrival time. Now we're just waiting for our check bag. We're gonna get the bag and try to head out of here.
A travel day is not truly over until you arrive and your bag comes through the gate, because sometimes the bag is not coming through and you get real nervous, and sometimes it never comes through. Thankfully, we have never lost our bags just yet on this trip, and hopefully we never will. because it is a very bad feeling, and we have actually kind of lost the bag in the past before, and it's just a lot to deal with. So hopefully our bags will be coming through that little door soon. I see our bag. It is this green/blue bag right here, and we are so happy that it came. And now we're ready to go. You can tell that this is our bag because we are repping the Canada flag right there, and we got a bright colored bag because it's easier to spot against all of the black bags. And we're always, like I was saying, extremely happy when the bag finally shows up. And usually sometimes it's not really the first bag to show up, so we're waiting and we're anxious, but once it does show up, we're super happy. And like I said, the travel day isn't over until we get the bag. And not only that, but the travel day isn't over until we get to our hotel, which is going to be our next challenge right now. There are definitely times when we arrive to an airport and it takes us longer to get to our hotel. Even if it's relatively close by, it takes us longer to get to the hotel than it took for the whole flight and the whole trip, which is pretty insane. But it does happen to us quite often, especially sometimes our Grab is not working, or the ride hailing apps aren't working, or we don't want to take taxis. So sometimes we do have troubles with that, but hopefully this time everything will go smoothly and we can get to our hotel quickly. So we have managed to make it out of the airport here at the pickup area where all the taxis are, and we decided to call a Grab. As always, we love using Grab, but for some reason when we got to Philippines, on Zay's phone Grab was not working, and my phone is kind of damaged from the little kayaking accident that we had in Thailand. Well, we fell. So we're kind of using a makeshift setup over here, but we have ordered our Grab, but no one has accepted, so we're waiting on that right now.
So we checked the price on Grab and it said 270 pesos. And when the Grab wasn't accepting, we asked the taxi driver how much it would cost to go to the address we're trying to go to, and he told us 575 pesos, and then he went to 500 pesos, and then we were just like, no thank you, we're gonna take the bus. But luckily the Grab accepted the ride, and we were just shook at that price.
Also, the cab drivers are not really willing to negotiate down too much. Maybe he said the least like he's going to take is 500, and that's double of what the Grab would have cost. I think the Grab actually was 249 or something. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I mean, we'd rather walk at that point or take the bus and have it take us like an hour instead of 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. And just like that, we made it to our hotel. We had such an easy, smooth travel day, and that never happens for us. Usually it's a rough travel day. We're so happy to be in Cebu. We have a lot planned here for you guys. A lot of them are your suggestions that we really appreciate. Please leave a comment on the video, please leave a like on the video, and subscribe. We will see you guys in the next one.